What you doing?
Oh, I'm just thinking.
About what?
Are we really doing this?
What do you mean?
No, I mean, are we really, actually doing this?
Yes, we are really actually doing this. You promised.
Pardon me, sir, but there is still time to back out.
There is no backing out. You promised that if I was good this week and did all my chores, we could do the deepest dive ever.
Oh, don't let it happen, Robbie. Kill it, Robbie. Kill it!
Sir, my basic directive. And you did promise some holiday merriment for the booby this season. And what could be more merry than the Star Wars holiday special?
Don't even speak of it, Robot. Isn't there something, say, more pleasant that we could dive into this Christmas? You know, like rotting animal corpses of the Serengeti?
Or anything, really. Perhaps a nice little video on the pros and cons of projectile vomiting. Came in real handy last time Robot made nachos.
Why do you guys hate me?
It's not that. It's just that I've got a show to do and I really value my viewers.
Oh, I'll hold my neons until they turn blue if you don't keep your promise.
By all means, hold your neons. Blue is so much better anyway. Just look at my choppers. Well, I guess you'd better get this over with and ruin everyone's holiday early.
Stay tuned, folks.
Movies.
Music and monsters.
Danger.
Hey, my friends, Dan Monroe here from Movies, Music, and Monsters. Okay, here we go. The Star Wars Holiday Special, and boy oh boy do I remember the night it originally aired, clear as a bell, November 1978, and the reason I have such a clear memory of that night is because my family and I were on a 4-hour road trip from Buffalo to Binghamton for Thanksgiving at my aunt's house, and I knew that this thing started at 7 p.m. and the clock was ticking. We were still in the car with like an hour and a half to go, horrified that I was going to miss what was being claimed in TV Guide as a sequel of sorts to Star Wars.
Little did you know of the horror that awaited the young Monroe child.
There was no YouTube, no VCRs back then, so if I missed it, I missed it. But we finally got there at around 20 minutes to 9. I remember feverishly leaping out of the car and running into the house, not saying hello to anybody, going straight for the television to hopefully catch anything that was left from this holiday special about my favorite movie of all time.
And what a show you missed. The lighting was so bad everyone looked like they were being interrogated. And those pseudo-erotic psychedelic dream sequences, B. Arthur singing while flirting with giant rats, Chewbacca wrapped up in a giant red towel.
I was 10 years old and I really didn't care, and that's all there was to it. But yeah, okay, I do guess I remember watching the last 20 minutes of the holiday special with somewhat of an arched eyebrow.
You guys are so mean. I loved it. So did 13 million other viewers.
Love Boat had a bigger share.
Laugh it up, fuzzballs. But what you guys don't realize is that, okay, granted, despite how bad the final product ended up being, that the road that it took this holiday special to even get made is not only super fascinating, but, in my opinion, kind of fun.
You're such a softie. I still think a deep dive into vomit would be more entertaining.
Where do you get this stuff?
The Star Wars Holiday Special was far from the finest hour that we've seen from a galaxy far, far away, but keep in mind, this was the late 1970s. Bell-bottom trousers, platform shoes, disco music, and more importantly, something that was extremely popular back in the day that really kept a lot of the networks alive and making money. variety shows, and yes, even though it is extremely difficult to get through the entire Star Wars Holiday Special, in my opinion, the appearance of the Star Wars characters on the Donnie and Marie show was way worse than anything we saw in the Holiday Special. And remember, Star Wars was in limbo. George Lucas was just beginning to throw the initial concepts together for The Empire Strikes Back. The public was absolutely starving for anything Star Wars, which is why through most of 1978 we saw our beloved characters all over the airwaves. The Donnie and Marie show, the Richard Pryor show, the Midnight Special, the wacky Saturday morning preview, Captain Cool and the Kong's All-Star Saturday, the Bob Hope All-Star Christmas Comedy Special, and on our beloved Star Wars characters were literally, and some say unfortunately, everywhere.
Well, on the flip side, we did get a super cool special called The Making of Star Wars.
Like cool, man, real cool, you dig?
I distinctly remember thinking about the Star Wars Holiday Special while I was in the audience opening night for Star Wars The Phantom Menace, the first prequel, thinking, okay, now, wait a minute, it's called Star Wars, but is it possible that I'm not going to love it?
Misa thinks you appreciate great cinema, Okie Day.
And look, let's be honest, and this is really important to consider while discussing the holiday special. This was never meant to be a sequel to Star Wars. This was never meant to be some big serious piece about the destiny of our favorite characters from a galaxy far, far away. It was, and always was, intended to simply be a variety show. Do I like it? No, not really. Do I watch it once a year with the rest of my favorite Christmas specials? Hell no. But can I at least appreciate it for what it was, considering what it was meant to be, and considering the time in history that it was made? Absolutely. By the way, if any of you guys want a really deep dive into the Star Wars Holiday Special, you definitely got to check out an incredible film called A Disturbance in the Force, an award-winning 90-minute documentary that is not only a whole ton of a lot of fun to watch, but also gives you an extremely detailed look into all the aspects of the Star Wars Holiday Special. Definitely check it out, and as always, the link is in the description. You know, the holidays are rapidly approaching, and believe me, there is nothing worse than getting stuck at the last minute, scrambling to get that ever so important Christmas list finished. But I might just be able to help you guys out with today's sponsor, RANKIN. I absolutely love the products from these guys. I've got just about everything they've ever put out, from their very first classic earbuds to their headphones, and now their essential open earbuds, which I absolutely love because no matter what I'm doing, I can still hear what's going on around me while enjoying my favorite music or podcasts at the same time. Those regular earbuds that you're wearing block out everything except the music, which may not be very advantageous if there's like a car honking at you or someone calling your name. Either way, RANKIN literally has over 3 million customers worldwide, and the sound quality is, believe me, just as good as the earbuds that literally cost double the price. Super lightweight and comfortable with multi-point connection, and the best part is a 36-hour battery life, which I just love. I mean, I maybe charge mine once a week. Definitely my daily go-to earbuds. And yes, my friends, RANKIN Essential Open Earbuds are here for the holidays, and they are selling out fast with up to 20% off this holiday season. Simply click the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/Dan Monroe, open to save on all their Raycon audio products site-wide, and ordering by December 15th guarantees delivery by Christmas, because as everyone knows, Christmas gifts are always generally better when they don't show up late. Raycon, looking better and sounding better, simply the better choice for you or your family this holiday season. And now, back to the Star Wars Holiday Special. Now, to understand exactly why there was so much stuff on network television during this time, we gotta go back, way back to the days just after Star Wars was released, and this is really kind of weird, but George Lucas was convinced by all these network executives that if his characters didn't appear on all these dorky shows, the public might just forget all about Star Wars completely. So, enter Charlie Lippincott, George Lucas's promotional director, who was absolutely the driving force behind not only getting people interested in the original Star Wars before it came out, but also the guy responsible for so much more, including getting those wonderful Star Wars Marvel comics into production. Star Wars at that time was kind of like the wild west. Nobody at Lucasfilm had any clue exactly what they had or what they were going to do with it. There were no toys whatsoever in stores for the Christmas of 1977, and Lucas was really at a loss as to how to handle this enormous Star Wars phenomenon that had taken the world literally by storm, which is why we saw so many Star Wars characters on all those ridiculous variety shows, with George Lucas absolutely wanting to tap into the family demographic, which did work, by the way. The whole family sat down to watch the Star Wars characters on the Donnie and Marie show, and then the whole family got up and went back to their local cinema to watch Star Wars again. There is no bad publicity.
Just bad shows.
So, a large group of writers who were not necessarily Star Wars fans started writing the Star Wars Holiday Special with the hope that this show would one day become as beloved and iconic as all the other Christmas shows.
Good grief. It's the great Death Star Charlie Brown.
Never quite realizing it, of course, at the time that it would never be aired again. Fun fact, according to the Hollywood Rumor and Legend file, Robin Williams was brought in as a possible talent to be seen on this special. Keep in mind, this was after Robin appeared as Mork on Happy Days, but prior to the TV show Mork and Mindy becoming a huge hit. And believe it or not, get this, the producers of the holiday special turned down Robin Williams, saying, and I quote, "Sorry, kid, we only want established stars for this show."
The same network executives that canceled Lost in Space?
Get their names. No Christmas cards for them this year.
This is really interesting. As ridiculous as the holiday special ended up being, initially I think that George Lucas really wanted it to be something quite different than what it was after the incredible artist Ralph McQuarrie passed away in 2012. A 5-page treatment was discovered that was written specifically for a Star Wars Holiday Special, and believe it or not, a lot of the elements of the special actually started here, along with many of the Ralph McQuarrie sketches that were drawn up at that time to give Lucas an idea of what this thing might end up looking like. But right off the bat, it was George Lucas's carefully planned idea to have the holiday special based around our heroes getting Chewbacca back to his home planet for Life Day.
Obviously, he had to get back to his home planet for a flea bath. But what about the rest of the show?
The writers actually thought that 9 minutes of Wookiees grunting would be a good idea to start the show. Totally bizarre. There was no dialogue, none whatsoever. Just 9 minutes of Wookiees making growling noises, not even subtitles.
But it was great to see Art Carney back on TV after the Honeymooners.
And how in the world that sequence with Carney giving the old Wookiee the thing that goes on his head that makes him fantasize made it past the television censors is absolutely beyond me. And yes, you heard me correctly, an entire sequence about an old Wookiee really, shall we say, getting off on what he's experiencing. Quite the odd creative choice for a family variety show, not to mention being more than just a little bit disturbing.
Maybe his favorite movie was Christopher Walken and Natalie Wood in Brainstorm.
Speaking of disturbing, what the heck was with all the terrible makeup on Mark Hamill's face?
Ooh, I know this one. It was to cover up the scars that Mark Hamill had on his face due to an unfortunate car accident months earlier.
Well, originally everybody thought that since Mark had a car accident in between Star Wars and Empire, that's why the snow monster hit Luke in the face at the beginning of Empire to give him a scar to blend in with all of his real scars. But now we know that that's not true at all. George just wanted there to be an exciting moment with a snow monster to open his second film. But wait, there's more. We had extremely long and bizarre sequences of holographic dancers, a music video by Jefferson Starship, a cantina sequence with B. Arthur singing an incredibly boring and forgettable song, Harvey Korman in drag performing a skit as some kind of multi-armed intergalactic chef, and finally, at the end of the special, Carrie Fisher sings a song in celebration of Life Day to the tune of the main title of Star Wars.
I guess all those stories of drug abuse in the writer's room were true.
Fun fact, even though a lot of our Star Wars heroes did appear in this special, Kenny Baker, who played R2-D2, did not. Not sure why, but in the end, they simply opted to use remote control R2 units instead.
He would have had a small part. Anyway.
But you gotta love the names for the Wookiees. Lumpy, Itchy, Mala.
Sounds a lot more like dermatology problems.
That may be true, but this is really interesting. Mala, the mother Wookiee, wore a mask that was actually a repurposed Chewbacca mask from the original Star Wars film. The absolute highlight of this show was obviously the animated segment known as The Faithful Wookiee, which was, by the way, the very first official Star Wars cartoon written by George Lucas and produced by a Toronto animation firm called Nelvana Limited, Lucas specifically requesting that the visual style be inspired by a French cartoonist and artist named Mobius.
Morbius? I didn't know he was a cartoonist.
No, you idiot. Mobius.
But most important of all, Lucas introduces the brand new character of Boba Fett, whose appearance in this cartoon was based on the footage of the unpainted white costume from The Empire Strikes Back.
I know. How cool is that?
Exactly. The Star Wars Holiday Special aired on CBS on November 17th, 1978, and was pretty much universally hated by the critics, by the audiences, and most importantly, by the Star Wars fans. A reviewer for the Associated Press called the show bubblegum for the brain. Another reviewer wrote, "I'm not convinced the special wasn't ultimately written and directed by a sentient bag of cocaine. 2016, the 100 Dumbest Events in Television History ranked the holiday special as number 1, calling it the worst 2 hours of television ever made. And of course, as you might have guessed, the stars of Star Wars themselves have very little, if anything whatsoever, to say about it, especially Harrison Ford. George Lucas was once quoted as saying that if he could possibly find every single copy of the holiday special and destroy it, he would, which is obviously why it's only been seen on television once and never released by Lucasfilm all these years later.
Wait, you're talking about something that the audience can't simply go out and watch themselves? The internet is forever, you know.
Yes, indeed, you can find it out there, if you know what I mean, like right here in this place. Just do a quick search and take a look. But remember, and I'm warning you, if you've never seen it before, you might want to have a couple of stiff drinks and brace yourself for a possible mind-altering experience from a galaxy far, far away.
Well, I liked it, and I'm going to watch it right after the show with a bucket of stale popcorn and my Jupiter 2 blankie.
Look, in the end, for better or for worse, the Star Wars Holiday Special did and does still exist. It is part of Star Wars history and was a part of our childhoods. And that being said, I'm pretty sure that there are probably a ton of people out there who do love the Star Wars Holiday Special, kids who grew up with it, and to all of those who do, I sincerely and wholeheartedly say to each and every one of you,
what the heck is with you guys?
No, Merry Christmas and may the Schwartz be with you. Hey my friends, check this out just in time for the holiday season. Relive your childhood memories with the enchanted world of Rankin Bass 2026 History Calendar. Embrace the original stop-motion animagic seasonal television specials with this 13-month 2026 wall calendar featuring 13 high-quality images. Stay organized by keeping track of important dates, perfect to hang on a wall, corkboard, or bulletin board at home, school, or the office. Now available for a limited time and the perfect gift this holiday season. Links in the description.
Movies,
music, and monsters.